Welcome to Sweeping the Country one more time. Mr. Jimmy Carter, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Jimmy.
Oh, man, we've gotten past the Easter time. We're now into full-blown spring.
Woo!
People complain to me about pollen of all kinds.
Yeah, true that.
Even in the North Country, you're getting some pollen.
No, we get it heavy. It's just different. It's just different. That pine pollen's awful.
Yeah, so that's going on, and we're past the Easter egg hunts and all that. So next stop is summer.
Wow, already.
Is Memorial Day.
Man.
We're 60 days away from Memorial Day and ready to go. May, is fun with the Kentucky Derby and the Indianapolis 500. And we got the Final Four coming up this week. My school's in it for the first time ever.
What the heck? Let's talk about it because I watched them when they were
really expect to go any further.
But come on. They are definitely – they were in the Sweet 16. Was it North Carolina or was it the Elite Eight that they beat North Carolina? But I was watching that game, and they were not the team that was going to win. They'd come up and tie it, and then they'd go down 4 points, and they'd come up and tie it and go. Yeah. It just didn't feel right. And then this kid comes out of nowhere and hits a layup and a three-pointer, and they never look back.
Well, we'll get in trouble talking sports with some of our podcast listeners.
Perhaps, but good for you.
That's exciting. Masters is coming up next week.
Yeah.
A lot of people love the spring sports. I did not watch the first weekend of whatever they're calling it now. The USFL married somebody else, and now there's something.
Yeah, I don't care much about
spring
that
football. I can't get interested in it.
I can't either.
I like football, but I just can't get interested in it.
Maybe if they put like the two worst teams in the league in that league, I might watch those games. But I have no interest either. I really just don't.
I just can't go there. I don't know what my problem is, but I just can't do it. I don't know. But one thing that is happening in the spring, and I'm seeing it, Hollywood. And the movie theater people.
Yeah.
Your local movie theater, they really need for you to come back to the movie theater. Mm-hmm. This is the last chance, the swan song. This is it.
Is it coming back, Jimmy? Can it come back?
They're going to try to get you back because I'm seeing some movies. All right, Ghostbusters was supposed to get you back.
Yeah,
and it wasn't good enough to get you back, okay? I think it had the buzz, but it didn't have the juice.
Yeah.
I think it got a B something on Cinema Score.
Mm-hmm.
The hoity-toity critics, who are going to be are going to be the ruination of the movie business, because mostly they get it wrong. They like the artsy-fartsy films, right? Just weird ass stuff.
Yeah,
and then the normal stuff or things that are mass appeal, they don't. They just poo-poo it. So they all said Godzilla and Kong would do 40 million max in the United States and do 60 million around the world.
Okay.
Well, it did 80 million in the United States.
So they were off a lot.
Not that much around the world. So it was double what they thought. The Cinema Score was an A-, which is
pretty good.
Cinema Score is the only. You don't need to be paying them any attention to. I hadn't found a print reviewer that I thought got it right ever.
Let's preface this.
Okay, ever's a long time.
Yeah, no, you're right. But let's preface this with you did this for a living for some time.
For decades.
So what you're talking about.
And I became a TV movie critic because they wanted somebody that would do it, that would give the reviews for the common guy, that he would like, the movie. I'm not expecting women at the garden club to go see Godzilla and Kong. Okay.
Yes.
I know that doesn't appeal to them on any level.
Right.
But as you can see by the breakdown of the audience, 67% of the audience to King Kong and Godzilla was male.
Okay. Makes sense.
I think it was like 60% were under the age of 35.
Also makes sense. Yes.
Young men.
Yeah.
Video game players and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Folks like Ted doesn't like it.
Of course not.
He's waiting for
Chariots of Fire 2.
Not even that.
Come on.
He's waiting for Home and Garden goes live or something. I don't know what we're going to do with Ted. He listened to this 2 weeks after we do it, so he won't know. But
hey, Ted,
he wouldn't go ever see a movie like King Kong and Godzilla, and he would never go see a Star Wars or any of those things. And I don't understand that, but those are movies that I like, and those are movies I always gave great reviews to. So I'm looking ahead at movies that are coming out.
Okay, now, what do you got?
Dune was not my thing.
Mine either, but it looks good.
Very well. It's the number one movie for the year. right now.
So I haven't seen the new one. I saw part of the old one, didn't like it, but I'm told the new one is fantastic.
Well, to me, the worst part of going to Florida, for example,
Yeah.
is I like to look at the water, but I've never really liked the sand at the beach.
Fair.
So Dune is all about sand. I don't care about sand. I don't want to be
keeping it simple. Okay,
it
all right.
doesn't do a thing for me. Let me have some trees.
Okay.
The
fair.
second thing is Kung Fu Panda 4. That's not my thing, but it's the second most popular movie of the year. So we really haven't had anything that people can get into. Those are the only movies that have made over 100 million. Worldwide?
What is considered
worldwide? Dune 2 has done 600 million, so it's on its way to probably making a profit.
What is considered a blockbuster? I mean, what's considered
well, it depends on how much you make. Like for example, coming in soon, not real soon, but the summer. Let me just go through the movies that I know are coming.
Yeah.
Because I don't have them all.
Now,
could these
be blockbusters? Some of them could.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
The ones I'm going to give you have potential to be blockbusters.
Okay.
Now, let me just say, Hollywood sometimes knows what they've got because they've already tested it.
Okay.
In like Orange County or somewhere in one of the suburbs of Dallas.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure where they're doing it now, but those are two places where they used to do it. So they know if it tests over, like, oh man, everybody left there, all right.
Yeah, sure.
And then they have some idea themselves if they feel like it's movie. Sometimes they're wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
They have a hunch this is good, and then they test it out and it goes, and then it isn't. But sometimes, those screenings, like they didn't like the ending of Fatal Attraction.
Gosh, that was a good movie, though.
They changed the ending of Fatal Attraction and it became a hit. They road tested Top Gun, and the women weren't into it enough.
Really?
And so they went back to the studio and cut in. I mean, like a heart surgeon, cut into the movie and stuck in that Berlin song, "Take My Breath Away," and had Tom Cruise do a love scene with whatever her name was.
Kelly McGillis. Kelly McGillis.
Yes, Kelly McGillis.
Oh, great
and
scene.
So that was inserted into that movie,
so to speak.
And then they tested it again, and the women loved the movie.
That makes sense. I mean, that was
It gave them a heart. I mean, that's just that. I don't know that that's true, but I know that that's true based on what the executives told me.
Yeah, I would believe that. That's fascinating.
That movie became more of a women appealing movie instead of just a boy movie.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the problems with King Kong Godzilla is there's no love interest.
How are you going to put a love scene in that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But here's the first movie that they, meaning the studios, think, and you've already seen commercials for it. And I don't know. There have been there have been some big hits that have been this.
Okay.
It's movies are based on genres.
Mm-hmm.
This genre is 3 genres.
Okay.
Action, comedy, and drama.
Okay. I like all those. Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop would be an example of action, comedy, and drama.
Is it hard to put together a movie like that? Because it's not.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
Think of this bomb with Arnold Schwarzenegger did. Whatever I can't remember what the name of it was now. The Great Action Hero or some crazy name.
Last Action Hero or something like that.
It was something like one of the biggest stiffs of all time.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be that. There was a movie that I think is great, and it got lost. And I don't know why. Wow. It was called The Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis.
Oh, yeah, that was a great movie. I saw that movie. Yeah, it was good.
It's got a lot of cussing in it.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Maybe that turns people off.
A lot of cussing in it.
Yeah.
And it's like every breath. Mm-hmm. And so that at the time, that may have been a big deal. But they think The Fall Guy is with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt and the woman who owned the soccer team from the, whatever that thing was. Soccer
Ted Lasso. Yeah.
Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble remembering my names today.
But the Fall Guy, blonde gal you talking about?
They think it's going to be something.
Is it based on the Lee Majors show?
Yes, loosely. Just
really?
So it's about a Hollywood stuntman, so it is that.
I would like that. I think that sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, keep looking because you're going to see a lot of commercials.
Fall Guy. Okay.
All of that. So they think that's in what they call the catbird seat. It used to be the opening of the summer movie season, which was the all-important season for Hollywood anyway. That 60 days, really, June and July, end of May, June and July. because August you started losing people again.
Yeah.
The theaters wouldn't even be open in England, in France, because it was too hot. They didn't have air conditioning in a lot of the theaters, and so now hopefully they fixed that.
Yeah,
but in the 70s and 80s, that was a problem.
Huh,
but anyway, schools start back up, football starts back up. You start losing your audience, but it's wide open usually in June and July, and you don't have. That's the time that people were going to the movies. So the Fall Guy, they think, is going to be something. They're starting it early.
Okay.
They're moving the summer movie season back to May the 3rd.
Interesting.
So in 1 month, the Fall Guy. Now, there are other movies that are coming out that weekend that I'm looking right here, and it's nothing anybody's ever heard of. It's a lot of, well, there's an interesting one. In limited release, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Oh, I remember. That was the first one.
There are children that have never seen Star Wars films on the big screen.
Isn't that wild? So I got to tell you, so the Phantom Menace was
That's
the
one
first.
With the kid, isn't it?
Darth Maul is in that one. That's the one with the red-faced guy and with the dual lightsaber.
Just racing, in the
pod racing and all that. Yeah, so that was
supposed to be the first one, but it was really in production of the fourth one.
Yeah, because the first one was Episode 4.
Right.
That we saw, that we got introduced to. That was the very first one.
There are many, many, many people, including anyone under the age of 20, 30, that has never seen Phantom Menace on the big screen.
That was the very first Star Wars. I took my son to.
Try that.
Loved
see
it.
If it worked.
He loved the movie, and he is to this day, 27 years old, a Star Wars junkie. He loves everything Star Wars. Seen every movie, so they're great.
If it's limited release and it does well in some places where they put it, they'll bring it out wider. But there's a whole bunch of small little movies, because here's what the old philosophy is, and that's why Outsiders Picture is putting out Adios Buenos Aires, and Janus Films is putting out a horror drama, Some Evil Does Not Exist. And, what they think is that everybody's going to the movies, and maybe The Fall Guy is sold out when they get there, and they'll get some spillover.
Okay. I get that.
What is this? So that's that philosophy.
Yeah, I get that.
Now, backing up even further, there is nothing that's coming out in April right now that I can see. Nothing good. No, they're just putting out things that aren't good enough for summer, horror movies, junk. I mean, I don't think anything in here is going to do anything. Nope, nothing's going to do anything.
That's too bad.
So we're into May. And then let's see what happens after that. They're not taking me any further than May the 5th. Interesting. Well, I know that there's one called Bike Riders that's coming. And that's a good one. I think that's going to be one that might be a hit. It's got the Elvis boy in it.
Really?
And it's it's a 60s movie about guys that start a motorcycle club, the Vandals.
Ooh.
Tom Hardy is is like the leader of the bike group.
Wow.
And so
I'd watch something like that
that's
too.
Supposed to be, and again, I think they think it's going to be good.
I hope so. I know a good film will resurrect the theater, but do they need to change something about the actual physical location? Because it's like, I don't know if I want to go in there and sit in row after row after row of people. I'd almost rather sit at like a cabaret style table and order some food.
Well, that's a whole nother deal if you're going to redesign the way that people went to movies.
I don't know.
What you can do. Alamo Draft House
Yeah.
has come and gone and failed and been for sale. And they did that where they served cocktails and all that
and
stuff.
it didn't fly. Huh?
Well, it did for a time.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, and they've put in lounge. Well, COVID screwed everything up.
That's true. That is true.
I mean, that really did change everything. So I think a lot of this stuff they tried is untested, where they have, you know, lounge seats and vibrating seats. And
yeah.
all kinds of stuff like that. And I don't personally like where I've got to pick a seat.
Yeah, I don't either. I want
to sit by who I want to sit by.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like, you know, airlines that do that. I like Southwest where I can sit where I want to sit.
You know, I went to a movie. I don't think you and I have talked about this. I went to a movie. It was a neat experience if you've never done it. It's called a 4D movie. And
yes, I've only seen one. That was in New Orleans.
yeah, it's quite fun. I mean, you should try
water
it.
comes out of the ceiling and all
Yeah,
kinds.
yeah, and when air blows in your face. Like we saw
Yeah.
Top Gun that way, the new Top Gun.
Oh, really?
And it was pretty cool. The seat kind of tipped back, and the wind blew in your face, and
Wow.
we enjoyed it. And it wasn't that much more expensive. I
The
think
original Top Gun or the new?
no,
Top
the new
Gun?
one. We saw the new
Top
one.
Gun Maverick.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it was
I didn't even
great.
hear about that, but that is cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
This movie will be a hit June 7th. So let's see what was May 31st. Well, I got to go back. Anyway, Bad Boys Ride or Die, that has an audience. I mean,
Yeah.
this is like Bad Boys 4, I think is what
Yeah,
it is.
so they got a group already.
That
Yeah.
will have a good box office
Yeah.
on that. A lot of studios are re-releasing films. This Phantom Events, you familiar with them?
Nope.
Well,
no,
they'll put live concerts sometimes where you can pay money and go sit in the theater
Yeah.
and watch a live concert.
Oh,
that's
as
going
it
on,
happens?
or
Yeah.
an opera,
Oh,
or
that's nice.
a play, or something like that.
I might even do that with like a Super Bowl or something. If it's not, I mean, if they give away some
They
prizes
used to
and
do that for boxing.
that'd be kind of fun. I mean, I might
I mean,
think
I used to
about
go
that.
to see Muhammad Ali fight at a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Go to
I mean, it's not a bad idea. I mean, especially if you had a cabaret style where you could go watch.
this Phantom Events on June 8th, and then June 9th and June 10th, 3 days in a row,
Yeah.
are bringing back the Lord of the Rings movies
Oh,
to
wow.
show them on the big screen.
Yeah, people might go to that.
Somebody that might be into that.
Yeah.
Disney is putting out their first film June 14th, Inside Out 2.
Oh, I
Amy
saw
Poehler.
Inside Out 1.
So
Not bad.
obviously they may have done something
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
This one is the one coming out with Austin Butler in it. It's June 21, and it's The Bike Riders.
Okay. I'm going to look
Now,
that up. It's
before
called The
that
Bike
is a
Riders?
children's movie. Inside Out's a children. That's a separate market.
Yeah.
Well, this movie might be big, but it's going to have. It's one of these movies. Generally, it's called this is a 4 genre film.
Okay.
We're talking about action, comedy. What was the other?
Drama.
But this drama. This is a fantasy horror mystery thriller. It's with Dakota Fanning, and it's called The Watchers.
Ooh, I like Dakota Fanning. I mean,
Now that's in limited release. That means they're going to see how it does.
okay.
It's in bigger cities and try to create some buzz for it.
Well, I mean, give it a shot. I'm for it. I'm for
They're
good
thinking
films.
that Bad Boys. Apparently they're thinking that Bad Boys has 2 weeks worth
Okay.
of action. So everybody's staying away from that second week of Bad Boys. So we're at June 21, The Bike Riders,
Mm-hmm.
and then June 20th. Let's see, June 28th. That's the next weekend. Now that's getting close to the 4th of July.
Yeah, big
So
one.
that's kind of a 4th of July film. And you've got a couple of things here. You've got the Kevin Costner film, Horizon: An American Saga. Now that's interesting. They're going to open it in limited release. They're not putting it in 3,000, 5,000.
So what does limited release mean? Is it like 200?
Well, if
300?
you're putting it in a bunch of them, like Bad Boys will do, they'll put it in 3,000, 4,000 theaters.
Gotcha.
Screens, rather. There's not 4,000 theaters.
Yeah.
4,000, but there are 4,000 screens.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll put this one in limited release. It might just go to big cities, or they may open it up in Dallas. They'll open it up wide in Dallas and Birmingham.
And that's it. And
more than that, but
yeah.
It's probably, there's the big city philosophy where if it's like Phantom of the Opera or something, they'll like it, then the hinterlands will hear about it.
Gotcha.
This one, they have to grow like Yellowstone did. So they probably have studied Yellowstone,
Mm-hmm.
the television show, and it didn't play it was not a hit in the big cities. It was in the hinterlands, and it grew.
Really fascinating.
Became popular in the big cities.
Yeah,
So
fascinating. I
it's
didn't
all
know that.
about their marketing. And so I'm sure that Warner Brothers has studied the history
Mm-hmm.
of Yellowstone, and even probably the history of Dancing with Wolves and some of that, and they're going to copy that style.
Fascinating.
Another movie that's a big one from Paramount, drama, horror, sci-fi thriller, A Quiet Place, Day One. I don't know.
I thought A Quiet Place was something out already. I wonder if this is
know.
like a prequel.
It's opening that wide, so they must think that they've got something. And then on July the 3rd, which is, I don't know how this falls this year, but Despicable Me 4.
Oh, those were all good.
This is a 5-genre movie. Adventure, animation, comedy, family, sci-fi.
July 3rd is a Wednesday.
Okay.
That's interesting. But it is Wednesday, before the holiday.
You open your movie on what's the 4th of July is a Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
So Wednesday is the same as Friday that week.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yep, right before the day off, yeah.
Blow it off, or that'll be a Friday night.
Interesting.
To take the family to see. I studied marketing film for a long time.
I never knew it was so deep. I mean, I know there's marketing in the plans, but boy, it's deep.
There's big money involved, and so that's deep. Now,
yeah.
I told you about genres. Horizon's considered only a drama Western.
Okay. That's all right.
In the Western genre is an alien thing.
Yeah, when was the last good Western? He made one of them. He did one that was he did Open Range, I think was the name of it. Oh yeah, okay.
And that was pretty good, but there hadn't been and then what's his name?
Tarantino did Hateful Eight.
Oh my God, yeah, but that was Western.
It was good, but that was
a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that too.
I'm trying to see other people here. There is a July. Well, then that's it for the big movie. So they think they're giving it to Despicable Me, which is family. They're giving it to Horizon, and so they must think Horizon has a chance to do something over the 4th of July weekend. And you've still got carryover of Bad Boys and bike riders. Then you get into July. Now this gets to be a funky time. Things start slowing down. If they've tested movies, and they did, if it was really that great, they would put it out in June.
We'd have seen it already.
Yeah, you'd have seen it in June and May.
Okay.
You'd have backed it up into April even. So this is an untitled Scarlett Johansson, Channing Tatum film. It's a comedy romance. They don't even have a title for it.
It doesn't even matter. Those two right there will draw people to the.
That's what they're thinking.
The box office. Yeah.
Totally thinking.
No question.
And then we're off to, and then we get to this one. Now this one has potential.
All right, let's hear it.
July 19. So it's the first movie really of any big movie studio that they've saved for July 19th.
Friday release.
I'm not sure why they would put it here. It maybe they thought that, and this is Universal. Maybe they thought they couldn't compete with Costner or Bad Boys, or Bike Riders, or some of those. That one with Dakota Fanning and whatever else. So they've got this to themselves. It's not a sequel; it's a remake of the movie Twister.
Oh yeah, I remember that. What's
called Twisters?
Wasn't it Helen Hunt?
The effects are going to be even better now.
Oh yeah, I think that was a Helen.
Bill Paxton's.
Yeah, Helen Hunt was in that, and
she wrote an idea for one, but I think she got killed.
Oh really?
In the I don't know. Someone said she got killed. I hadn't seen Twister in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't either.
And I know Bill Paxton's no longer with us.
But I know it was a good movie. I mean, it was good at the time.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it was ridiculous. It had the flying cow in it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
For those things.
Yeah, I do remember.
This one, God knows what they're doing with the effects they can do now.
Gosh, yeah.
So
they can do anything.
That's coming July 19th, and they spent all their money on the effects. It's $200 million.
Oh my gosh.
Not paying They're not paying much above scale for these actors.
Wow.
We'll see. Katie O'Brien's the star with Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell was in Top Gun Maverick, I think.
Yeah.
Laura Turney and somebody else. So
trying to think
it's all on the special effects. Shot in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So, I mean, those are some good movies, and that's pretty much it for the summer.
I'm looking up Katie O'Brien to see who she is because I don't recognize the name.
She was. I remember I saw her on all these things have trailers.
Yeah.
That all look pretty good.
Yeah, I recognize her. You'd recognize her.
So anyway, I mean, they're not overpaying for all their
right.
Tom Cruise,
right,
and all this stuff. Now, I thought his movie was supposed to be out in the summer.
Which one?
The one that's the sequel to the one from last year.
Mission Impossible?
Yeah, I thought that was supposed to come out
I don't know, but I've always loved those. I know you're going to hate
I
this,
don't
but
see it on the list. But
I like those just like I like Sean Connery and Roger Moore's 007. I like the Mission Impossibles. I thought they were good.
this is Dead. Well, Dead Reckoning was I enjoyed the last one. I just watched it
Yeah, they're
a
good.
couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, they do a great
So
job.
anyway, yeah, I can look that. You got the point.
Yeah.
Is that movies need to have you come back, and I love movies. Now, one of them, there's a couple of movies that are coming to Netflix.
Yeah. What do you got?
That are being made by Netflix. That were pretty expensive, and they're coming. So they wouldn't be on this list. That wouldn't be released like that.
Yeah.
They have their own list of what's coming there.
I just watched something interesting.
Beverly Hills Cop is coming to. I think that's Netflix only.
Is it really? I watched something that you might like just because it was the same era as for me too, actually, because it was such a long span that he did his comedy, and he wasn't very successful when he started, and that is Steve Martin. It's out on Apple TV.
Oh yes, that's documentary. Yeah.
Yeah, and it really is interesting. I had no idea that he went through such a tough time, both psychologically, emotionally, and I mean, he went for 15 years, and people told him he was garbage. He was never going to make it. He was terrible, and he just
I
stuck
can't
with
wait
it.
to see that. There's a bunch of stuff that came out on Apple.
Yeah,
and I'm embarrassingly. I'm just telling you, I need help.
Yeah,
I'm binging SWAT on Netflix, and there's a lot of seasons.
No help for you.
I can't get away. I'm into Hondo and Decky, and
you cannot be helped if you're watching SWAT. Get out of SWAT.
Swear.
Watch some Steve Martin.
I'm watching it. I'm watching every. I'm watching.
Those were good. They were good. I mean, I liked them.
Again, I feel bad now. Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Netflix only is July 3rd.
And who's in it? Who are the people in
Eddie
that?
Murphy.
It's the original
people.
Really?
There's a bad guy in it, but I mean everybody from Surge to all the rest of them.
Wow.
Are back.
Okay, yeah. I got to see it. I got to see that.
And now, how does this? Does this compete with things at the theater? Yeah.
Right.
It does. I mean, people only have so much time.
Right. And to go out and do something like that, it takes 3-4 hours. I mean, by the time you get in the car, you go and.
But there's certain things, and I wish Beverly Hills Cop was on the big screen too. I wish they'd have put it out, but they're trying to get you to do that. So, okay.
Yeah, I get it.
I hope it's good. But I know Kevin Costner's movie is going to be good.
Yeah,
and it's going to be one you want to see, not on your phone. It's like Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah,
that was not a phone. That was not a movie.
I agree.
You needed to watch on. I watched it the second time on an iPad or a phone.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed it, but it doesn't have the same effect.
No, there's no question. No, I agree.
The Bad Boys movies and the Fast and Furious, those movies play better on the big screen, eating popcorn and watching that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the sound system eating you up and everything.
Well, Jimmy, I remember going to see Tropic Thunder, which is not a
Lord.
It's not a box office smash, but I still enjoyed it with a thing of popcorn and one of my friends. We went and saw it and we're like, it was a good time. It was an hour and a half or whatever of mindless, take me away kind of stuff. And that's really why I go see any movie. It really is.
Well, I think Horizon is a big movie. It's going to be big out west. I think it's going to take up the whole screen for you to look around. And I think the sound's going to be that kind, when they're shooting flaming arrows into this cabin.
Yeah.
Boom. I mean, I think you're going to feel like you're getting hit by it. So I think that's great. I'm sure that the sound and the big picture, even though it'll be a mindless car chase thing,
that's okay.
4 will be good at the movie theater.
Yeah.
The biker movie, maybe that. I think that's going to be. I bet that they've cranked it up for some of the music. I know one of the songs they're using in the trailer.
Yeah.
Is "Heartbreaker" by the Rolling Stones, and boys, that's got a fiery electric piano. So I don't know. I'm thinking that might be good. I'm willing to take a chance.
Well, I'll tell you what. There was kind of a pre-run on that with a show called The Mayans. I think it was Mayans or something like that.
Well, Mayans was the
Hulu.
After the Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, and it was great. I mean, and Sons of Anarchy, another one. So I
never thought I would. That was one that I did not watch when it was in its new phases.
Yeah.
And I watched the last, I don't know how many years it was on there, but I watched the last 2 years probably.
How good was that? I mean,
and I had to figure out who was who,
Yeah,
but I loved it. I
I
mean,
did
I
too.
loved
I
the
did
show.
too.
And I've always said, if I ever had any long-term reason, I'd go back. It's out there somewhere, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and watch that again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can get that. But I mean, if they do
I went
something
back
like
and
that,
watched the Beverly Hills Cop movies again
yeah,
and
they were
enjoyed those.
great. They
But
were
I've got
great
so
too.
much new stuff to watch these days.
Well, do
But
yourself
anyway,
a favor.
well,
Do watch the Steve Martin thing episode. It's in 2 pieces.
I definitely do that. Have you seen that other thing on Apple, the one with Kristen Wiig in it, the Com
Yeah, I started
Royale or whatever?
Royale. What's it called? Palm Royale?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, I started that. That's interesting too. It's supposed to be a comedy, but it's a little more serious than I thought. But it's
Okay.
but it's
So
not
worth-
bad.
I can, all right. And I think there was even another one on Apple there's Sugar coming up. That's coming up
Oh, I
maybe
want to
this
see
week.
that. I do want to
Looks
see
like a
that.
detective thriller.
Yeah, that looks pretty
So
good.
there's plenty of stuff on streaming, but
Yeah.
man, I don't want the movie theaters to go away.
I don't
And
either, but we got to think of something to get besides just the movie. And I say just the movie, it's about that, but something to make the experience
here's
richer.
the problem. And this is what happened today, where I'm not in a good mood because of the lunch that I had,
Yeah.
and I was a victim of shrinkflation.
Oh no, you got tiny
And,
hot dogs. What happened?
No, I went to Cracker Barrel. And
Oh,
I'm
you
calling
like
out
Cracker
on-
Barrel? I like Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, okay. I had their roast beef is kind of been well known. It's supposed to cook for a lot of hours, and every time I've ever had it, you can really cut it with a fork.
Yeah.
Today, I had trouble cutting it with my knife.
Well, it
So
could have just been a
it
new
took
chef
long
or
enough
something.
whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's still the entree. And
Yeah.
then I had, I'm going to have dumplings, corn, apples,
Mm-hmm.
and cornbread. So my dumplings come in a little bowl. There were actually 3 dumplings in there,
Mm-hmm.
about the size of a Chef Boyardee ravioli. I mean, little. I said, oh my God. The corn was okay. And the cornbread was okay.
Yeah,
and
it's
tea
always
was fine.
good. Yeah.
But I mean, good Lord, shrinkflation in everything.
Yeah, you're
And the-
right about that. I mean, we were looking at some of the fast food joints over the last 10 years today. We were talking just a little bit about how some of them have gone up in cost 100% based on the size of what they're giving you. So the price maybe 10 years ago was $5, now it's $9.99. And it's
Oh yeah, well, part of it too, beside it being, today, actually when we do this,
Mhm.
is the day that fast food workers start getting paid $20 an hour.
That's right, in California. That's right, yeah.
And that's going to have you watch and see what happens with that.
What just let me answer this one question for me. What business owner is going to take the hit? They're going to pass on the
It's what it's been sold and prices. Something's got to break. So the fever's got to break somewhere.
Yeah.
Prices have got to break. It can't go on like this. I say it every week, but the housing, everything. I mean, paying the money I paid today,
Yeah.
and I get 3 dumplings, and all that. It's
Right.
wrong.
Right.
I
hear you.
It's
I hear
bad.
you.
And then another dumbfounding. I was between Nashville and Birmingham
Mm-hmm.
on Interstate 65 on Friday, Good Friday,
Yeah.
and again on the day before Easter, Saturday. Got involved with at least 3 for no reason at all. Traffic going down to 0. All the lanes full, like you're in some Christmas shopping mall traffic jam that lasted for 10 miles, 15
Was it an
miles.
accident or what was
No,
it?
nothing.
Nothing.
It just is. In some cases, it was 3 lanes of traffic going down into 2
Yeah.
because the road ran out of 3 lanes and went into 2,
Mm-hmm.
or just whatever. I mean, it's just so many people out there. I think ever since COVID, the world is certainly the United States, people have gone crazy. They're
Yeah.
out there going every time, going somewhere. How they're able to afford these hotels,
Yeah.
that are out of sight in price, or they're just running up credit cards. I mean, I hear that credit cards spending is people are way at the max point.
Oh, nationally, it's at an all-time high. I mean, it's at an all-time high.
And you can see where it is. It's all these people trying to eat, every meal. I mean, you go any time you go 2 people to anyway halfway decent restaurant, even
Mhm.
chain restaurant, with tip, you're at $50.
You're right. You're right about that. And I've even noticed it from at a grocery level too. Last night we decided to make lasagna. Right? It's noodles, little ground beef, some cheese. Boom, you're done. Right? I mean, it's pretty basic. We bought all the stuff for that. We bought some veggies and a bottle of wine, and I think it cost us. I need a price check. What did it cost us? $60? $60. That's one. Well, we're eating it for lunch too today, but it was $60 for dinner to take home and make it. That's crazy.
You might have saved $20
if I didn't buy the wine. Yeah.
At the end of the day. Well, no, even with the wine, if you did 2 meals out of it based on $20 a meal.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Because I haven't gone anywhere lately, short of going to McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's cost me $10.99 or something just to get a plain hamburger, fries, and a Coke.
Yeah, but you think about that. That used to cost
breakfast.
Yeah. It used to be $7 or $6.
$3 for a Coke.
Yeah.
Or $2 for a Coke at some places. And like this morning, I went and got hotcakes and sausage, which is good value. They don't charge much for that.
Yeah.
$5 or something. And then I ordered a Coke because I don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
Our Coke machines are down.
Yeah.
I mean, something's broken there all the time. Either the milkshake machine or something's broken all the time.
You're right.
And these people, and whoever's buying these McDonald's, they're paying a pretty penny to build these buildings.
Oh, they ain't cheap. You know that. Yeah,
billions of dollars, and they don't work half the time. And then they got people to show up for work.
Well, that's the other thing. And now they're talking about, with the fast food hike, we're talking about California, if they're going to pay the fast food workers $20 an hour, how does Joe's Burger House, owned by one family who's not required to pay $20 an hour because it's not a franchise with X amount of stores, how do they get good workers? So it's a vicious circle, and unfortunately we're all running around in it, and it's too bad. But this is the first time in my life that I can really think of. And I didn't live during the Depression. Obviously, that was a long time ago. But it's the first time in my life where I've really noticed what is being taken out of my wallet when it comes to that.
Oh, absolutely.
And I can feel it. I can feel it 100%.
I can too. And because I've had to buy a medical appliance for something.
That's a whole nother thing.
$500, and I'm sure it wasn't that much.
Yeah.
Before, and just everything.
Yeah, everything's expensive.
You touch.
Yeah.
Is more expensive.
No, you're
and
right.
Gas prices aren't. We've gotten. They're at $3.15.
You're creeping back up. Yeah.
They go up, and they're creeping back up.
Yeah.
And what they, well, and here's what whoever's in power.
Yeah.
Right now, the Democrats are in power in the White House, in the Senate.
Yeah.
Usually, and what's happened in my lifetime as a news person, they keep the economy in as best shape as they can keep it until after the election, no matter who wins.
You are
and then
so
the
right.
air goes out of the bubble.
Right.
Things are. So if things are going to go to hell in a handbasket, they'll do it, this Christmas.
Yeah.
Or they'll do it the first of next year, whenever the poor sucker is who gets to be president again.
Well, it means 6 more months, right? 8 more months. We're good. We got at least 6 or 8.
Maybe. That's usually the goal.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Look as good as possible. But, I mean, when I'm getting 3 dumplings at Cracker Barrel, because they're hiding it in a bunch of juice, I mean, they're trying to cut their cost.
Of course they are. And the funny thing about it for me is I feel like right now we're being told everything's good, but we know because we're the ones paying the bills and fighting in the trenches in the sense of being part of the economy. We know because we can feel it. So you can tell me one thing, but I'm feeling it over here.
And I know personally people looking for a job and can't find one.
There's that too, yeah.
I know of people in media where they've had such major cutbacks, in newspapers and television, in radio, and all these other jobs. I'm telling you.
Well, I look at,
Army. Even the Army
that's true.
Is getting rid of people.
That is true. I mean,
they don't need as many.
I look at the McDonald's situation, and I'll just say that and I'm saying McDonald's. It could be Burger King, it could be any fast food that are having to pay this. There's a couple things that can happen. One, they pass it along, and your burgers are going to go way up. 2, they automate more, and they have less full-time employees. And 3, they could just have less full-time employees so that the benefits aren't part of the package. It's just crazy. But you can count on us to get you the truth, right? About the movies and the economy.
Truth sucks.
Sometimes it does.
Maybe I ought to call that our podcast, The Truth Sucks.
Here's the truth. The truth sucks. I think I'll do it.
It's terrible. I mean, blowing smoke is a lot better.
Yeah. You want blow? Well, next week we can blow smoke.
Oh, Howard Cosell knows it. Tell it like it is.
Tell it like it is. Jimmy, always a pleasure. I want to thank everybody for being part of Sweeping the Country. Tell a friend, and make sure you're here next week when we do it again. Until then, I'm Derek Walker. He is.
I'm Jimmy Carter. Good day.
Good day.